For someone getting started in polo, normally the organization they start to build on would be having a polo professional player and a groom. And you can build from there as far as how high a level of polo you want to play. This season in Florida, I had played everything from 2-goal polo to 26-goal polo. So I've been involved with a variety of professionals and grooms and managers and team coaches. So that's getting to the top end of the 26-goal. But for someone starting out, my advice is to find someone, when it comes to being either with a professional or even a groom, is to find someone that you respect and enjoy their company on and off the field. In polo, we spend a lot of time together, and I think that relationship is key, and it's key for the fun of the sport, and it's key for the chemistry to win games. And it is truly, it's a team sport on the field, and it's a team behind the scenes. So I've always had the pretty good luck of playing with people that we get along fabulously, and it sort of helped not only my career as far as what games and tournaments I've won, but my personal improvement as a player, and my horse health management. And so surrounding yourself with people that are knowledgeable, honest, hardworking, and have a passion for the horses is key, whether at a pro or a groom. Now, as far as, how do you get connected with your first pro? Go and watch the games. Talk to people, you just watch some players. Let's say you want to play 6 and 8-goal polo. Maybe find a 3 or 4-goal polo player that can allow you to play both levels. And you're basically watching how their behavior is on the field, what kind of horses they're bringing to the field, and you can sort of do a little interviewing, and researching by asking people, how is this person to play with? And you can sort of see for yourself, and maybe in the beginning don't make long-term commitments. Just say, can we play a tournament together? And you sort of get to know and get a feel for someone. If you already have someone in the polo community that is sort of a mentor, that's the resource, And if there's someone that's been around polo for a while, they probably know most people, because we're a pretty tight community, and it's everyone kind of knows each other. So definitely ask questions. And so who you hire as far as a handicap of a pro is based on what level polo you want to play. Mm-hmm. So that's a starter. And so it's nice to have one key person, and then if you play different tournaments, you sort of add on, and maybe it's a different person each time, or you share a team. For example, I have an 8-goal team. I'm a 0 and I hire a 4, and I play with another 0 and a 4, something like that. And it's fun to play with other halves. And of course the other option is completing your own team. A groom, very important, of course, taking care of the horses. It's sort of based on your level of ability to participate in your own horse caretaking. If you have a full-time job, for example, one extreme, you need a groom that can really do it all. He can get the horses fit, drive a trailer, understand lamenesses, basic vet care, and the obvious grooming the horses, the tacking up, the clipping the manes, the body clipping. But that's a person, it's really a key element. They have to be, quiet and calm with the horses, and quiet and calm for you when you're playing, because it gets a little intense. So, and then go to another example where I do participate on a daily basis with my horses, because that is sort of my business in life, is running a polo club and breeding and training and so on. So I'm heavily involved, so I can have slightly greener people that I sort of train to work for me in my style and so on. They have to have some, horse background. And I drive my own trailer, but so that's sort of two ends of the gamut. There can be some mixes of that, some mediums, but it really has to be someone that, again, you want to be around. The relationship has to be one of respect, and good horsemanship is key. Your horses will last longer, they'll be happier, they'll play better, and so that's sort of a quick summary of how to choose each, a pro or a groom. And your little community can grow from there. Like I do have sort of a mentor. Actually, I have more than one. there's probably 3 or 4 people that I go to and sort of go to for different things. I don't necessarily play with them, but they're good to bounce questions off of, get advice. And the longer I'm in polo now, that sort of group is growing too, and I've found that people are very helpful to give their knowledge. When you're first getting started in polo, there's probably a lot of choices. Maybe it gets confusing. You see a lot of these faces, but how do you know it's somebody that you want to be connected with? And I think you can look at their history. Have they been with maybe one amateur sponsor for many years? Are they hired often, or do they have a lot of downtime? So I think that sort of speaks to maybe how that pro conducts themselves for the long term. I think short-sightedness doesn't pay off for anyone in the end. So not that you're going to go steal somebody from somebody else's player, but you can, I think you need to trust your gut and instinct on that. And when you do talk with people, listen to what yourself is saying and sort of go with that feeling. Because again, that personal chemistry is key. And if you want a long-term relationship, doesn't mean you have to commit to it. Again, I said this earlier, right away, but you have to find someone that maybe they sell horses, and do people keep going back to that person to buy horses? Maybe they are a manager of a club, and maybe you're not going to hire them as a pro, but you can at least use them as a resource. You see, they bring in more and more people, and they're building and building. So I think just observing how they interact with other people is a good indicator. And as far as finding out later, you may find out later that maybe you didn't make the best choice that time, but I think you learn from that one, and you hopefully have a better experience the next time. But again, personally, I've had 90% positive experiences. I've been very, very lucky because the original group of people I got together with in polo really are a group of, again, work ethic incredible, the long-sightedness, again, not short-sighted thinking at all, the integrity, the honesty, wanting to have quality horses, quality polo. I just kind of got lucky falling into that kind of group to begin with, and they've kept me with and steering me in the right way all the time and giving good advice. My own process when I start to think about what tournament I'm going to play in, again, it's the handicap level will dictate what pros I'm going to work with. I have never actually used contracts for the tournaments I've played, and I've played up to 20 gold polo and my 22 gold polo with my own teams. The 26 gold polo I've played, I've been invited in as a substitute. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that do use contracts, so I'm not that familiar with how to guide anyone on that, but I'll speak to how I do it. It's basically emails. And I keep all my emails so that we're clear, and I remember what was said and what I said even, what they said, and quite honestly, I also work on honor and a handshake, and I expect others to do the same. And I have not, fortunately, had any bad experiences when it comes to assembling my teams. So, but you have to ask questions. What horses are you bringing to this tournament? Are you playing in 2 tournaments at the same time? For example, if someone's playing in an 8 and a 14, I have to really accept they're going to have their better horses in the 14, because that's the way it works, and that's fair. And did that pro also commit to another team prior to me? So they probably, have an obligation to that other sponsor. So if I'm aware, for example, their better horses will be there and their 8 gold horses will be with me, I accept that, or I say no thank you. So I have to be smart too, as far as asking the questions. Are you going to be here early enough to practice with me before going? So again, it's a lot of email correspondence the way I really operate, mostly for tracking the conversations and remembering. And it's worked for me. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't really be able to advise somebody on how to put a contract together, but I'm sure there's people out there that you can ask.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's basically your contract, is just those.
Yep.
That series of emails.
Yep. And phone calls and just talking.
When you hire someone as a pro, what's your expectation of them? Is it? I guess we have to make a distinction between someone you just hire to play a tournament with you and maybe your key guy. So let's talk about your key guy or gal or whatever. What's your expectation of what do they bring to the table?
When hiring a pro, you can do it on different setups. For example, you can pay by the game, you can have salary by the month, you can have an annual salary. So if you're only in a place for a short time, you may just play by the game. It can depend on the format of the tournament as well. But for example, in the summer, we play polo at my club from June through September, and my key pro stays the whole time, so I do a monthly situation. But I also put up his horses, so that balances out what he's actually receiving in salary. I pay for the board, I give him the board because it's my own farm. I pay for his feed and bedding. He comes with his trailer, he gets himself to the field, he has his own groom, and I pay him that monthly salary. Here when I'm playing 2 tournaments, for example, per month, I'll have my key person on a salary basis, but the other fillers in, I've worked out, mostly I pay per game. And the reason is you don't always know if you're going to a finals. Are you playing 3 games, 4, 5? So all that can be negotiated. But I do expect them to have a truck and trailer, their own groom, sort of be self-organized, and meet me at the field. When we're traveling like this, I possibly might pay their board expenses, but maybe they're living in a different farm. I'm at one place, they're at another, which is usually how it ends up here in Florida. I don't necessarily rent out an entire farm here in Wellington. But at home, I do have the space, so I provide that as part of their package. And housing. Usually, you have to provide housing because these guys they don't necessarily have a home base, and they're moving all around the country to play different seasons and tournaments. So I expect them to be available for me to practice with, to maybe give me lessons if I feel like, oh God, I got to work on this. I have a family that, nieces come in, and my parents, and they do help them stick and ball sometimes. So, polo is kind of a family venture in a way. So I also expect them to give me 110% on the field, quite honestly. I like playing with people, as the expression is, they leave it on the field. And that's the way I play, and that's the people I like, to be surrounded with on the field. And again, I've been fortunate that the people I play with really do leave it all out there.
Let me understand something. You said that you like your pro to be self-organized, so they come with their own groom, their own truck, their own trailer. So do you pay the pro, and the pro pays his groom, typically, or how does that work?
When a pro is sort of self-organized, they do have their own truck and trailer, their horses, their tack, their groom. And maybe I give them housing and board. I pay their salary, and how they manage the rest of their organization is up to them. They're paying their fuel, whatever their groom situation is. If they have 1, if they want to have 3, that's their deal. But I have a understanding between me and the pro of what they're going to get paid. Like I said, be it per game, per month, per season, and there are some pros on annual salaries too that I know. It's been my way to always. It's like a la carte, I guess. They take care of themselves. Even though maybe I play with the same person over and over, they're still, because there's some things that are out of my control. For example, vet care. Somebody may not ever call a vet, but if maybe it's on my account, next thing, there's a vet being called in for every single thing, or some vet work that's being done, that I don't know how to track those numbers until the end. I know what a horse eats. I know pretty much how much bedding they go through. There's some standards that I can expect, and I'm willing to pay for that. But the other things, they can get too out of my control and understanding, so those are the ones that I expect the pros to be responsible for.